Sean Williams is in custody on federal charges and out of the Greenville, Tennessee U.S. District Court. He was being transported by the Laurel County Jail from Kentucky to Greenville for a court hearing this afternoon. So this morning, during the transport by Laurel County Jail, he was able to kick out a back window of a transport van and was able to make his way out the window and escape shortly after they arrived here in Greenville.
Yeah, my understanding from this indictment that I just read is that the detention officer from Laurel County, it only mentions one, you told me there were two.
There's always two
Yeah.
with these, it's required.
Parks
Yes.
it near the Sally Port, goes to the back and sees that he's gone. So did anybody, do we know whether any authorities saw him exit the van?
We, as far as I know, they were unaware that he had made his way out of the van at the time that he did escape.
Is there a point in time during that transport at which they know that he was in the van, like it had to be after X time? Do you understand?
Well, there's certain things I can't really comment on the that part of it, because not only do we have a manhunt investigation going on, parallel to that we have a investigation of the why and how of this escape. So we're conducting two different investigations at the same time. So because of the investigation of how it happened, and I can tell you that if we find that there was any facilitation of this in any shape, form, or fashion, negligence of it, we will be seeking prosecution against anybody that might have had any involvement in that. So trying to make a good determination right now on how it happened.
Realistically, what percentage of the time do you think a convict could escape from such a situation without some kind of facilitation?
Well, certainly we have a lot of questions, and that's really all that I can say about that right now. I mean, we have here in the Eastern District of Tennessee, we have intergovernmental agreements, jail contracts, with 16 different detention facilities here in East Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama. So a lot of different jails. And what we do, the federal government does not have jails. So basically, you can think of my job as the U.S. Marshal as being kind of like the federal sheriff. The big difference is we don't own jails, so we contract with usually sheriff's departments, sometimes private detention companies, but mainly with sheriff's departments to house the jails. We pay them to house them. As part of that, we have transportation agreements with them as well, so they transport the inmates to the jail, whichever ones are scheduled to go to the jails in whether it's Knoxville, Chattanooga, Greenville, on any given day. So we may have several different transport vans rolling in on any given day from any number of jails that we have these agreements with. So this is an extremely rare situation to have an escape from one of those. I can't remember my last time that I was involved with one of these. I'm not saying it hasn't happened before, but it's been several years that actually one escaped in transit like this.
So the process generally works very, very well.
It's usually very good. Most of these sheriff's departments are that particularly are, they're transporting state prisoners every day too. So they do their jobs very well, and this is one of those rare things that doesn't usually happen. So yes, I have a lot of questions about how this situation happened today.
Was he handcuffed, and did he have shackles on his feet?
He was. And part of our regulations for these guys in these agreements, and our officers certainly check them or the deputy marshals check them as soon as they come in, that they were properly handcuffed and shackled when they arrive and when they go out. So he would have had those, and we understand that he has somehow gotten out of those. So questions remain about how that all happened too.
But he was spotted in Greenville this morning.
We had positive sightings earlier this morning. Before all the positive sightings were before noon here in Greenville, on foot. He still had his jail clothes on. They wear a tan uniform at Laurel County. his shirt that he had on, I think maybe he had removed the main top shirt, maybe he was in a t-shirt, he had blood on it, which indicates that he probably cut himself going out the back window.
So he was spotted in the area, and you believe those were accurate sightings?
Yes, we've had some positive sightings this morning in the area. Now this afternoon, we've had a lot of calls on some other sightings that turned out to be unconfirmed, meaning that we know that these were not him. These were misidentifications.
Is there any reason have you all had any reason to think that he might have had help and been picked up and left the area in a vehicle?
Well, we're certainly looking into that part. Not since we haven't had positive sightings in some time now, in the last few hours. There's always that thought that maybe he has had some assistance or got picked up. Recently, we had one where just happened to be picked up by an unknowing hitchhiker, car driving by, trying to hitch a ride. So, you never know, but that is certainly something that we're looking at right now. And one of the most valuable things in these things is getting information out to the public about these, and that's how come the last one we had a few weeks ago, we were helping Anderson County Sheriff's Department with a murder case, and that guy, after the person that picked him up dropped him off, he saw the news and realized, I picked up the suspect there. So,
what level of risk do you guys think Sean Williams poses to the public if he comes upon a home and thinks he might be able to get a car or anything like that?
We have no indication at this time that he is armed in any way, but we do consider him to be very dangerous, and we do consider him to be the type of individual that would do anything in his power to not be captured, which could mean breaking into homes, obtaining firearms, stealing vehicles, anything of that nature. And we're hoping that as people get home from work this afternoon, that they will look around and report to us anything suspicious that they might see that could have occurred at their house while they were off at work today.
So encourage people to check their surveillance cameras, ring cameras, things like that.
Absolutely. Please, if you've got those type of devices on your home, please check them and see if there's been any activity today, and call us immediately if you see something out of the ordinary.
You don't sound like you're saying that you guys have any super hot leads right now.
No, we don't have any super hot leads right at this moment. So,
do marshals ever accompany detention officers when there's, the guy that had already tried to escape from the Jonesboro jail? Do you guys ever say, listen, we want marshals to go along from the jail to the courthouse, or is it always just the folks with whom you contract that do that?
I mean, certainly we do in some situations, because you got to remember, and we transport some high-level mafia figures on cases and terrorism figures and things, and particularly in Washington D.C., New York City, and places like that. And we'll definitely be involved in the actual transport day to day, but not on an average day. We're not part of that.
Maybe wishing that had been the case today.
Well, in hindsight, though, I've got a number of other prisoners who have, I hate to say worse criminal histories than this guy, but have some really dangerous criminal histories, and so we will make the transport teams very aware of these, and then they know when we send them to their jail, we give them their background. They know what they're housing, and we let them know if there's any extra precautions they need to be taking during these transports.
What does the search on the ground look like right now? Like, what are your teams doing right now?
Right now, they're fielding any leads that come in and running out and checking those. We have patrol officers actually combing the area, just eyes open at the moment. We have helicopters in the air. We have been flying drones around the area as well. We actually have officers out there in these areas doing door-to-door knocking and looking and just seeing if they see anything that looks out of the ordinary that need to check into. So, and hoping that we get that right call here any minute. So
using every resource that you have.
Yes, absolutely.
There was another prisoner. Was that person still in the back of the van when they got
that person did not escape and did not attempt to escape. So.
Were both of the detention officers in the front of the vehicle?
Yes.
You got anything
I
else?
think that's it. Anything else you want to add?
Nothing that I can really think of other than just to the public. Please let us know immediately if you see anything suspicious that when you get home from work today, and give us a call, or if you see somebody wandering around that shouldn't be there. Uh, if he has not made contact with somebody that's a acquaintance of his to get him out of the area, then he will be making every attempt to get himself out of the area. So let us know immediately. We have lots of officers here on the ground ready to go and combing the area as we speak. So
Well, the search
the assistance of the public is key in these types of things.
Well, the search continued through the night, and you said that you guys have strong reason to believe that he would basically do anything to keep from going back. What are the factors that have led you to that conclusion?
This is a guy that has already made one escape attempt from another detention facility back a few weeks ago, and that was one of the reasons he was moved. One of the major reasons he was moved to a different facility was because of that. We know that when this investigation initially happened, that he made every effort to avoid arrest and was able to stay on the run for quite a lengthy period of time. He's an intelligent guy, and he's knows what he's doing when it comes to this type of thing. He's intelligent guy. I will
Does
say
he
that.
have information that the federal government wants to continue to glean from him about a lot of different things, and that's one of the reasons that one of the many reasons he needs to be back in custody?
Well, I have no idea about that investigation because we weren't involved in the investigation of the crimes that he was charged with. That would be some of the other agencies, FBI and some of the local agencies. We weren't involved in that, so I can't comment on anything there. Don't even know all that kind of information. So.